Hello and welcome to the second of three sessions of Pasión de las Pasiones. This is the ashcan version of a Latino telenovela game powered by the apocalypse from Magpie Games. I heard today that in fact they will be kickstarting this, and they will be kickstarting this later this year, is my understanding, or at least soon. So I'm very excited. We are playing with, if you are at home or have the ashcan, we're playing with a slightly revised version of those rules, which were supplied to us by the designer. In particular, some of the elements of resources for leverage and things like that have been taken out. And they've changed a little bit how audience participation works as a mechanic in this game. But I'll come back to that. We have a couple of switch ups in terms of cast members for today, but we are still in that same setting of the company and the battles over control of the company, a entertainment conglomerate wrestling company in Mexico. And we'll come back to introductions and setting that up. But I do want to say, if you're watching this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet is a gaming community that is online. We have a couple hundred games on our online calendar each month. We have a Patreon that supports our many podcasts. It helps support our forums. If you sign up for the Patreon at a standard level, you can get our monthly magazine called Codex, which is kind of amazing. Each time I see it, I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe we're turning this thing out. And it just keeps getting better. And at a certain level, you can back the Patreon and get slightly priority access for our games. Or, essentially that we post the games in the calendar. There's a short window of sign up for priority members. And then after that, anyone can sign up. You don't even have to be a member of the Gauntlet. That's how it goes. So that is the cool thing. And in fact, this session demonstrates, we often have people look at the games and see they're filled. And I go, sign up for the wish list, or keep an eye on, things where people say we need players, because I've got 2 players that came in because we had last minute drops. So it's awesome. And 2 great players that I played with before. Who I enjoy playing with, so I'm excited. I mean, I love the 2 players who were here last time too. I adore them, but once again, it's just awesome. And this is one of my favorite games. This is a game of melodrama, which is my bag, as I've discovered in the last 10 years. I used to think I was a serious GM, given up on that. So here we go. So what I want to do is I want to start with our 2 returning characters, have them describe themselves, give us a sense of who they are and their pronouns. And once we have that, we'll talk about maybe how we want to frame this. So let me start with our beauty as I work our way across this character sheet. Luis, please tell us about Amor.
Will do. I'm Luis. I go by he and him. And Amor goes by they and them. They are La Belleza. That's the playbook I'm using. And they're like a rising star for our, and forgive me for fumbling the wrestling terms, for our promotion. And they're very cutthroat about their career. They kind of blend their personal life with their wrestling persona, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top. They're very pretty. They have a very non-vocal conscience, and they love playing people and being in control.
Excellent. And that gives us a good sense of them. And then, Daryl, could you please tell us about La Donna?
Yes, hi, I'm Daryl. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Estrella Montenegro, whose pronouns are she, her. The playbook that Estrella is the La Doña, the matriarch. So Estrella is a woman with luxurious silvering hair, and she has the measured, thoughtful eyes and is always dressed in severely tailored business attire. She is the ex-wife of the previous owner of the franchise, who showed up murdered a few episodes ago, and she wishes to take over and modernize the company to keep up with the times. And one such way that she's been doing that is bringing in Amor, who is, hip and trendy, but also whom I see as a little broken bird that I have to take care of. So.
And we had two characters that were on screen that were there. We had Gabriel Rubio, who was our sort of office worker employee who had been brought up along with Amor and had been under Estrella's thumb. And then the other one was Cristobal, who had been a more prominently placed wrestler in the past, but had now kind of become a manager, a Triple H style figure, but maybe not as honored. Both of them were maneuvering last time on that. And at the end of the last episode, Amor was in the back of a police car, having been arrested for the murder of Vincente. Since then, they have been cleared of those charges. I'm assuming since we're moving a few episodes down the road. Amor, of the two NPCs that are previous cast members, pick one of them and tell me what has happened to them. Why are they no longer in the series, or why are they off screen right now?
Oh, okay. Let me just remember the names a little bit. I'm gonna go for Cristobal.
Cristobal?
Yeah, Varys' character. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that he has been lent to another promotion in a small city due to friction that I caused with him in the company. Like I said, if you don't get that guy out of my way, I am gonna start missing matches on purpose, and I'm gonna start making shit happen. I'm gonna tell all my Instagram fans that this is bullshit, and I'm gonna move away. So they came to a middle ground and just sent him on a hiatus by lending him to another promotion.
That works. Of course, that would be the time we find out that he actually loved you and he was willing to go because of his love for you. That's what we discover at that point. And then, Daryl, what has happened to Gabriel, who you kind of loved, who some issues there? Did that turn dangerous? What has happened?
Indeed, it did get pretty dangerous, actually. So in the past few episodes that have passed between last time and now, Estrella and Gabriel actually began a torrid affair. And Estrella finally thought she had found someone who would truly love her for who she was. Alas, that was not to be, because Gabriel was just too innocent. And so he was going to reveal the various machinations that I have gone through to secure hold of this company. And in order to get him out of the picture, I had him framed for the murder, and now he's on the run.
On the run, not arrested, but on the run. And of course, his running reveals his guilt, obviously. Yeah. So there's probably some shots of him in fields looking around and then desperately taking off with the sounds of dogs barking in the distance there. That is great. Before we go any further, Jim, Robert, have either or both of you played Pasiones?
I have not.
Okay.
I have both played it and emceed it on the Gauntlet. So
okay, so you know it. The way you may notice, Robert, is that there are no stats. The way all the playbooks, the moves work is each basic move has 2 questions associated with it. And you'll check each of those, and each one that you answer yes gives you a +1 towards your roll. And then you also have a personal question based on your playbook. And so you can get up to a +3 on those rolls. All the basic moves are pretty clear, with the exception of, and this is one of my favorite moves, the process your feelings out loud. That is the looking off in the distance through the rainy window move, which allows you to kind of get meta comments. There are also flashback moves. Those require you to mark conditions. Those are on the other moves tab. And And you may see that our characters have a number of conditions. When you mark all of your conditions, you have a meltdown. And there at the bottom of each playbook, it talks about what a meltdown might look like for you. The other thing I want to mention, and just to reinforce for the players returning, is we have a mechanic called audience reactions. This is the way that XP is generated. There were some additional systems but those have been added and then taken out. But basically what it is if another player sees you doing behavior that they enjoy that fits with one of the 5 audience reactions, like for El Nino, which is what my mom called me growing up all the time. She would shout at me in the Kmart because she knew that I would come running, because she always said it in a mean voice. But anyway, when a PC does something so cool, action-packed, or awesome that you can't keep your reaction to yourself, pump your fist and cheer. And that gives that player an experience point. They also get, if we were doing this face-to-face, they would get a card with that on it, and that gives them a special ability. You can only have 1 card at a time. To simulate that, at the bottom of each playbook, I put a drop-down list with those audience reactions that'll tell you what you can do with them. So you'll see that that's what those red boxes are down at the bottom. The other thing I do want to mention, our standard safety tools are the X card. If you've played with me before, so you know that. Those are all on the table. Standard lines and veils are on the table. No sexual violence, no harm to children, torture is off the board. Those are all things that are on. Anything else we can X card as we might need to. So with that in mind, our Jim, Robert, are you ready to kind of maybe introduce who you're thinking about?
Yeah, and since this is a game that's going to involve romance, can I just ask for a veil on any consensual sex that we have?
Sure, absolutely. We'll draw.
Okay, cool.
Draw.
Yes, whatever.
We'll fade to black on that.
Yeah, and come back with like the thing where the dude has the sheet around his waist and the gal has it up around her armpits somehow, despite the fact that it's supposed to be the same sheet. So yeah, we'll do that.
Absolutely. Okay. That seems perfect. So Jim, let's have you tell us about your character.
Well, I am El Carmese Felpudo, the Crimson Doormat. And the Crimson Doormat, they are, I have used the La Empleada playbook, so I'm the employee. But I thought that because we are luchadors and wrestlers, that it would be neat to, rather than have La Empleada be like a domestic servant or somebody's assistant or something like that, but to basically have them be the jobber wrestler, like the wrestler who, like if they need somebody to put somebody over, they just send them into the ring. And I don't have a mask of my own. They just give me whatever mask they need me to wear. Maybe if somebody gets injured, I have to go in and pretend to be them for like long enough just to get through a bout and move on to the next thing. But like the other wrestlers have come to call me the Crimson Doormat because I'm who you have to step over in order to actually, enter into fame and, and glory as a luchador. I'm very young. I'm probably not even out of my teens yet, and I am like pretty young thing, but androgynous enough that they can literally they can have me wrestle women, men, whatever they need me to do. They can put me in a fat suit to go up, a weight class if I need to, whatever. But I'm very versatile in that way.
And it's a pretty progressive promotion that doesn't have a separate men's women's titles. So that's pretty cool, and so you can sub in for anybody.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. All right, and so one of the things that we need to talk about is the fact that my move requires me to choose suitors. I choose 2 people, ideally player characters, to be my suitors. They are actively courting me, even if I'm already in a relationship. At the beginning of play, I choose 1 to be my love. And then there's some bonuses that I get. I take a +1 ongoing with my love when I'm acting to strengthen the relationship. when I share intimacy or feelings. When I share intimacy or feelings with the other suitor, I mark them as my love and remove the mark from the previous love. And if I triggered the emphasis, and then there's like other stuff that happens. But
so
I have
what we'll do is
two suitors, one of which is a love.
when we come around to do the sort of relationship questions, we'll have you see
Fold
whether
that into it. Sweet.
Yeah, does that sound good?
Good. Sounds good to me.
Okay. And their background, do you imagine they were poor, wealthy family? How did they come to be in this promotion?
I think this is like I was an orphan and they plucked me from the orphanage. And so I owe them everything.
And to tell you the other,
I would be scrubbing floors in the orphanage if I weren't wrestling right now.
The other two power figures in the promotion, although whether they're still around, we'll see, are Vincente's adopted son and Vincente's daughter, who is also Estrella's daughter, who are also those figures on there. That's perfect. Is there any difference between, their persona in the mask, on the wrestling seems very, very much that. Is there any difference between that and their real selves that we see outside the ring?
I think they're, because they understand that they, like, their existence is at the, they kind of like are at the whim of, whoever else is around who is more powerful than them. They're quite obsequious and eager to please. But then the only freedom that they have, and it's so ironic because the only freedom they have is when they go into the ring and they get to be someone else, and they can kind of do what they want as long as they're being that person. But for whatever time that they're in the ring, they can, at least they can wrestle for a while.
Okay.
But out of the ring, I'm at the mercy of everyone else, and I act like someone who is at the mercy of everyone else.
I like it. All right. Thank you, Jim. That gives a good sense. We'll come back around to you on the relationship questions. Robert, tell us about your character.
Yeah, so I'm playing as Maximo Valentin, playing as El Jefe. Maximo actually runs a rival promotion. And now that Vincente is out of the picture, Maximo is kind of pushing in, and he sees weakness. So trying to push in and maybe acquire what he can. He's a very well-dressed man, always walks around in his business suit. Always like stylish, gelled hair, always just looking for a weakness in every position he's in. Always something to leverage.
Older? Are we distinguished gray hair, or were we younger?
I think actually a little bit younger, like mid-30s. I think he probably inherited this promotion from his father, and his father was very old school. Like, don't go and try to take over these other promotions. Those other promotions are required. Everybody can work together. But Maximo is like, no, if we don't have a monopoly, we're doing something wrong.
And maybe there is some weakness. Maybe there are some openings here in this promotion. Perhaps Vincente was not running things as well as Estrella would have liked. We will find out about that. Tell us about the moves that you have.
Yeah, so one of the moves I have is that I have a group of thugs, which I'm thinking are probably my most loyal wrestlers, being from this rival promotion. So I just gave them names of Diego, Carlos, Amelia, and Sophia. They might have, we might come up with actual wrestler names for them later, but so those are my thugs. So I have a small crew ready to enforce my plans. And then the move I chose is Dangerous Passion. So when I angrily express my love, then I make the roll to express my love passionately and use all the questions.
Ooh, all the questions for strike out at someone with voice.
And express your love passionately. So but I get a +2 from those questions at most.
That is nice. That is nice. And does Maximo like wrestling, or is this merely a stepping stone?
I think for a like growing up, he kind of grew up in the business. His dad owned the local promotion, and so for a while it was just part of his life. And I think now he's kind of getting into it. He kind of likes it, and he sees that there's a lot of weak people in wrestling that he can kind of manipulate to make money.
Excellent. I like it very much. So we're going to come back to you on those relationship questions. I want to start with our returning characters to see about their choices. Get those on the table, and so let's come back to Amor. Amor, you have those two questions. Is the Estrella one? Is that you still good with that relationship? Is that how you think that you're still aligned?
I don't know. I think if Estrella got to the point where she was pursuing something serious with Gabriel, I think that would be too much for Amor. It might put an end to their flirting, since she was also like Amor was also, they were also in love with Gabriel.
So maybe is it more that you are trying to run away from Estrella?
I think if Daryl thinks that's cool, I think I could be resenting Estrella, or like winning Gabriel and then squandering their love.
I think that would be really great, because I'm pretty sure I'm still going to keep your little bird status, and like the idea like, no, I will protect you even though you hate me is so matriarchal. I love it.
That's perfect. And what about that other question? Do you want to assign that to one of the two new people, or do you want to modify that question, do something else with it? What would you like?
I think it could be fun if Amor felt comfortable around El Carmesí, because like they're like new and they're not threatening because they're always submissive and don't really have a brand yet. So I think Amor feels powerful around them and loves to have their company, so they feel like they can cut loose.
Jobber in the ring, jobber outside the ring for you. Do it, supporting you, boosting your ego in both places. Okay. Are you good with that, Jim?
Jobber in the streets, jobber in the sheets.
Okay, yeah. There we go. That is the phrase we needed. Perfect. Daryl, what about your questions here?
Yeah, so like I said, I think I'm going to keep this bond that I had with Amor, but I'm going to tweak it to reflect this new relationship that we have. So Amor is risking everything, and their behavior scares me. They must be brought in line.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And then I'm updating who I've been sparring with, because now that Cristobal is no longer in the picture, suddenly Maximo has shown back up, and we have had a long-standing rivalry as rival productions. So now that he's come up in here and is trying to take over, well, we're going to have to go toe-to-toe.
Excellent. Are you good with that, Maximo?
Love it.
Perfect. So let's go to El Carmesí Felpudo. You've got two questions. What do you want for those?
Well, I definitely think it is Maximo who holds control over my well-being as my employer. So I'm gonna fill that in there.
So while you work for the company promotion, it is Maximo's company that has the real hold over you. Okay.
Yes, yeah. I think I like that. And I think Estrella was the first person who was nice to me despite my humble beginnings.
Sincere or not, she was.
Oh no, she's like, yeah, no, I think she's totally sincere. I mean, she's said that she sees something in me. So, yeah.
That thing may be profit, but I definitely do.
Yes.
You're okay with that, Daryl?
Yep.
Excellent.
Excellent. That brings us to Maximo. What questions do you have, and what do you want to put in for those?
So I have, blank. What has been a thorn in your side and a constant irritation, and I think maybe Amor. I think maybe Maximo really wanted Amor to come work for his promotion, and these young people these days, like, they actually want to be paid a fair wage, and so Amor is always constantly looking for the highest paying gig and the best solution or the best position for them. So like Maximo can just never get a hold of them.
Like, probably they said they were going to come over, and you put things together to have them appear, and then they didn't show up, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I had all my writers together for a weekend because we were sure that Amor was going to come by, and then it just fell through, and so we could never write that storyline that we really wanted.
Excellent. And what about the other one?
The other one, I think Estrella is an object of beauty that I've sworn intention to possess. I think I've always been jealous of Vincente for his relationship with Estrella. And while we have a rivalry going, I've always just wanted to have her all for myself, just to prove that I finally won.
Excellent. Are you good with that?
I am indeed.
Okay. With that in mind, Jim, do you have some ideas of how you want to do the suitors?
Yeah, so I have two suitors. They're actively courting me, even if I'm already in a relationship. And at the beginning of play, I choose one to be my love. So I think I'm going to have Estrella and Amor be my suitors. And Amor, if you're okay with it, I think I would like to have you as my love. Because you can cut loose when we are together.
And did it start as that both of them wanted you as a casual thing, and now it's gotten deeper because it is a yet another chessboard to play on?
I suspect I don't have any insight into how they get along with each other necessarily, or whether I would and although I suspect, like, if they both know that they're both kind of actively courting me, I'm not sure what kind of warnings they're going to give me about the other or something like that. But yeah, I feel like
That seems perfect.
yeah. Is everyone good with that? The other two people involved in our little triangle, all right with that? Okay, cool, excellent.
So the other thing we do at the start of session is we're going to do a last time on, and there's a list of those things, and you're going to pick one of those and then frame up a scene. There was a couple episodes between this and the last one, so what we're going to see, and of course this can involve NPCs or PCs or however. So Amor, when we come in and we're getting those teasers, the previously on, what is it that we see for your scene there?
I'm thinking I mended the fences with Vicente's, what do we call him, like a ward or something? The adopted one?
Yeah, his son, his adopted son, whose name I thought I wrote down.
Sebastian.
Thank you.
And there is the NPC tab at the end of the character keeper.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think I
Ed.
befriended him. And he's someone who's dangerous and passionate.
And how do we see that? Is that friendship? What is the scene we see here in the teaser?
I think there's like I'm gonna go really, really ham here and say that I have a dartboard with Estrella's face in my whatever room that wrestlers change in, and I'm just throwing darts at her picture. And then like he walks in to pick a fight with me and sees that I'm doing that, and then he just picks up a dart and starts throwing, and we just look at each other and nod.
Yeah, because he certainly came after you last time, but now that has changed.
He has a bigger price.
Is it? How am I saying? Is it Estrella or Estrella? How do you want me to say that, Daryl?
It's Estrella.
Estrella.
Mhm.
So what do we see for your last time on scene?
Okay, so this is only if it's with Maximo's approval, but it's one of those like quick cuts where they like put like pieces from 3 different episodes together, and it shows like the police bursting in and them trying to arrest Maximo, and then Estrella pops out of nowhere and is just like, "No, he was with me. He was with me." And then like they let him go, but then like as Maximo tries to thank Estrella, she like whips around and slaps him, and she's just like, "Do not mistake this for charity. I want to destroy you on my own terms."
Awesome. The natural cut there is to Maximo. Maximo, what was your last time on?
I think last time I probably swore to take revenge on someone important, and I think that's Estrella. And even though I want her to be mine, I want to take revenge on the promotion that she thinks she owns and make it mine.
So
Just like I want her to be mine.
Who do we see you talking to? What's the on screen we see of that?
Let's see. Yeah, I think almost as soon as she walks out of the room, like I have a number of assistants there with me, and I start scrambling them, like, "Go get me everything you have on her. I need it immediately. We're going to do this. If she wants to do this honorably, then we'll do it honorably, but I'll win."
Nice. And then El Carmisi, what do we see of your previously on?
Well, I took a gander at the NPC list, and previously on, we see Bruno, Amour's hacker friend, welcoming me to his whatever hacker den where he manages social media for the promotion. And he's got like a little corner of a ring set up. And I come in and I put on Amour's mask and I pose for a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. And we see, and he's, that's not quite right. And he like comes up and like adjusts my elbow for the pose and everything. And like, and there's like, it's increasingly intimate as he's moving me. And then like our lips get like just a fraction of an inch apart. And then we hear Amour coming down the stairs. And then he like hustles back to his computer to sit down and start doing, and I'm just standing there innocently as Amour comes walking into the room. So you came so very, very, very close to kissing someone you shouldn't.
I love it. Estrella, what has gone wrong in the promotion? What is the crisis that the company is dealing with right now that has forced you to intercede right at this present moment?
There was a PR disaster related to one of the other wrestlers who was like one of our biggest faces. He said some really, really bad things in public, and it was completely contrary to his profile as a face. He was like a baby-faced, kind of innocent kind of wrestler, and it was revealed that he was actually just like a horrible person in real life. And so, of course, we fired him, but now we have to do damage control.
So where do we see you? Where are you at when we come in on this? El Sangre de la Puma, the Blood Puma, has messed up. And he's an old tradition wrestler, and where do we find you?
We are obviously in the the penthouse office of our media conglomerate in like the center of the city, and I am standing on the other, like at the head of Vicente's old desk, you know, one of those giant like 2-ton affairs that are made from like walnut and glass, and I'm like slamming my fist on the table. I'm saying, no, we will not deal with this anymore. He is fired and he is gone.
And who else is in the room? Is it are Sebastian or Eva in the room, or any of the other PCs in the room? Who is present?
I'm sure that I'm arguing with Sebastian, and I'm sure that like Amor is there because now we are making them take over many more of like El Sangre's plot lines. And so there's also the negotiations of that. And so I'm like pointing my finger in Sebastian's face is like, Amor can do this. They have been proving themselves, and I will not have you stand in the way of progress.
And Sebastian says, I will not stand in the way of that, but we have a long-term ironclad contract with no morals clause with the Puma.
Well, then the Puma had better be comfortable becoming a heel and going to the bottom brackets.
I will go and tell him, but there'll be hell to pay in the locker room.
Do I look like I go into locker rooms?
No, you don't. And Sebastian kind of looks at you, Amor, gathers his assistants, straightens himself, and heads out, leaving Amor, you, and Estrella to have a scene there.
I think like they exchange a look like you know what to do, and then Amor is just standing there, and they close the door behind Sebastian as he leaves, and they turn around and look at Estrella, and it's like a solid second of TV tension, and they sit down and they say, "Wow, so this is what's happening now. You take over the company, and now you're dictating roles for the wrestlers. I thought you were just going to do accounting."
Oh, you have so much to learn, my dear. There's a lot more that goes into running things than having a pretty face.
Could have fooled me. So what message do you think that will pass to the other wrestlers, that management can just slash their didn't behave on social media?
I think that it's important to know that no matter how many followers you have on Instagram, I'm still signing your checks.
Wow. Isn't that a big game to play? I wonder what might happen if all of us got together and had a little talk about it. You wouldn't have many checks to sign then, would you?
Well, you certainly wouldn't get as good of a deal as you're getting here. After all, I've heard that Maximo's been trying to scalp you, and I know that he still won't cover your exorbitant daily allowances.
Yes, but you know how it is. It takes a while to realize the true value of a gem.
And that's why I continue to burnish you to a shine, my dear.
I'm trying to see if we can go for a move here, because I really want to.
Strike out. You could, if you want to reveal a shocking truth, you want to pull something out on stage, you could flash back.
Sure seems like demand what you deserve is the one that you were leading towards.
If you want something more than she's offered.
I have an idea. If Robert thinks that's cool, I could whip out a check like from Massimo with my or maybe a contract, and show that I have a better contract on the line for me. Like I have it in store.
Oh yeah, I think that makes sense, especially if it's not signed yet. I mean, if it's not signed, whatever. It's just offer.
Then I think that's flashback to preparations.
All right.
Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, fine by me.
Do you think you've had plenty of time to do it?
It's your call. I don't know.
No, this is your call. The fiction is on you, at least at the start of this. So do you think you've had plenty of time?
All right, I'll say no. I think it was all done
Okay.
in a rush because I think this blew up with Puma, and now I'm scrambling to get leverage to get my planning line.
Do you have someone looking out for trouble?
But yeah, Bruno's got my back.
Okay. Oh, maybe. But yeah, so that gives you a +1. And then what is your a personal question?
If I'm the center of attention,
Do you think you are?
well, I'm the one person in the room threatening my former love interest. I would say yes.
Then let's have you roll with a +2.
Will do. I just want to reroll these yellow die over here. Nice. All right, I got a 10.
You got a 10. So on a hit, you choose one of those things.
Can I change a little bit the "you have fabricated a piece of evidence, tell us what it is" line?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
So I actually fabricated this contract.
Okay.
Maximo didn't. I changed the number on it, and I just produce it out of my bag with a flourish, and I say, "Well, what do you know? Apparently he found the money," and I just slide it over the desk, and the desk is so long I have to slide it, and then when it cuts, it's closer than it was because the production has to move it.
That Estrella doesn't even pick it up. She just flicks the pages, looks at it and said, "Amor, you're asking for more than the next 3 employees in line make. How did you get Maximo to agree to this?"
I have my ways.
"I'm sure you do, my dear. I've seen you work your ways."
Yes. And I would really not have to move all of my stuff to that dingy little stadium that he owns. So we should see about increasing my fare. If you're going to cut down on Puma's pay, we can just change one number to the other. You know what it is. Move some stuff around.
And that definitely sounds like the demand what you deserve.
Yeah, now we're going for it.
Are you offering something of value in return?
My presence at the company?
Yeah, you definitely are. Does Estrella love you in this moment?
I mean, you are definitely valuable to me, but you are holding me over a barrel, so I'm thinking that feeling's probably soured.
Okay. And you do remain the center of attention, so you are rolling with a +2.
Boxcars. I'm on a roll.
All right. I love it when they roll high early on. That is just a precipice. So on a hit, the target of your demand chooses one. On 10+, remove one of their options. What option do you want to remove from Estrella?
I will remove the option to refuse. You either give me what I want, or you walk out of this room so I can take something.
Ooh, good call.
Estrella looks from you back to the contract, back to you, back to the contract, and it's that thing where it's it zooms in closer each time, and finally she reaches out a hand and snaps up the offer contract and tucks it in a briefcase and is "We'll talk about this later," and then says, "In the meantime, I need you to prepare for tonight's party. I'll be going now," and she runs away. But you do get. Is it? Yeah, literally just it's one of those things where it's I leave in a huff with my briefcase, but the consequence of that is that you take something from me. So
yeah. What are you gonna take?
Oh my god, so many good options on an unattended desk. Come on, Estrella. What are you hiding? What's in these drawers? I'm just rummaging through them as soon as you leave.
I'll offer up some things. The cue ball that murdered my ex-husband is in there.
Oh, I think I'm just rummaging through it that woman will soon know my real power, and then I see it and I'm and I'm holding it against the light.
This was the legendary murder weapon that was tossed around in the last episode that had some fingerprints on it and has the bloody marks, and it was used to kill Vincente. and now you have a hold of this.
Holding it in my very fashionable red velvet.
Yes.
And then,
I won't leave any fingerprints here.
so the fact that I have it means that I must have framed Gabrielle.
Oh,
Yeah. I think I'm going to change my evil laugh to an intense look of hate, of rage.
oh, nice. El Carmisi, how were you involved with what went down with Puma?
So I think I didn't realize until afterwards that they put me in a match with Puma, and basically told me something to whisper in his ear when we were in a clinch, and like that would get him worked up and the crowd would love it, and but he just went berserk when I said it to him.
And after the match,
And he hit me.
drank. Okay.
Yeah, like and he pummeled me so hard, I don't quite remember what it was that I whispered in his ear.
So this would have been happened under Estrella's watch, but the person that kind of told you, we've kind of traced that back to Maximo's people. So when you run into Maximo, do you say something?
So, Maximo, I think where would I see you when we have this conversation?
I mean, I think we could be probably not backstage at that show, but maybe maybe at another show, like in the area. I mean, or maybe even at my office.
All
Maybe
right.
I brought you in.
Senor Valentin, and I come in and and I kind of nod and I say, Senor Valentin, I have done everything that you have asked me for, asked me to do. I have become a part of the Montenegro promotion. I have reported back to you on things that I have heard, but that match with sorry, and as a player, what is the name of that wrestler again?
It is El Sangre de la Puma.
El Sangre de la Puma. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I say, but the match with the Puma, I was not prepared for his reaction when I told him what you asked me to. I have trouble even remembering the events. He beat me so badly. It was like he was a puma and not a man anymore. Why did you not warn me that he would be so enraged? Have I not always been loyal to you, sir? Have I not always done everything that you said to allow me to be so abused?
Oh, I'm so sorry this has happened to you. If the fault lies on anyone, it's those dirty refs that they hire there. They should have stopped the fight. They should have stopped him from doing that to you. I just wanted you to finally get your due and get a good match, and let somebody really put you over. And I thought that would help, but it's a dirty promotion over there.
It's true. They all the deceit, the dishonesty with which they approach the craft of wrestling, it is difficult. It is difficult to remain there, Senor.
Yeah, I agree. Politics and wrestling should be different, but not over there. No, they like to mix their politics and their wrestling, and I mean, I don't think you need to be there long. I don't think you'll have to live with that indignity for much longer. We can rescue you, and in our new joint promotion, maybe you can finally get the push that you deserve.
I would only ask one thing, and that is that you allow me, even if it is wearing the mask of another, a rematch, so that I will know that that I fought him honorably, fairly, and not when he was out of his mind.
I think we can certainly.
And I am demanding what I deserve here.
Okay. And do take the pobrecita for that audience reaction.
Oh, thank you. All right. I will do that because I may be able to use that right now. Let's see. Okay. Which one is it?
So that is.
Abuela?
I think that's the abuela.
All right. Okay. 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 So when I demand what I deserve, am I offering something of value in return? A rematch, but like I'm offering to fight this guy again, but I don't know whether. I mean, I think it's up to Maximo to decide whether that's a value.
Does that feel of value to you, Maximo?
I think so, especially because he offered to wear the mask of whoever. So maybe we could get Puma to come to our promotion and have some kind of match with a rival of his, which would really be him wearing the mask.
Do you love me? Do you love me in this moment?
I think so, because I think I actually sincerely feel bad that you got manhandled that badly.
Okay, so that's +2, and it's and my character question is, am I in over my head? And I suspect I probably am here.
That seems fair.
Yeah, so I'm going to roll with +3 and see what happens. 7 + 3 gets me to 10, which is where I want to be.
Then what option do you want to remove from Maximo?
I want to remove they refuse and escalate and mark a condition. So either of those two remain.
So which would you pick there?
I think I'm going to concede, and I mark a condition. And remind me how the conditions work in this.
Oh, so they concede to you. They can clear a condition. So if you concede, you would clear it. So we have 4 conditions. If at a point we do have to mark them, everyone has a unique set of these, and they give a bonus of +1 to one move, and -2 to another move. And they're pretty hard to clear.
Okay.
The demand what you deserve is one of the few ways to actually clear those.
And just a player question, just to make sure, I am noticing now that there have been some updates to the game since the last time I ran it. So I mark an XP, right, because I got a audience reaction.
Yes.
In addition to getting the card. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being said, now I know how conditions work. Yeah, I'm still going to concede. I'm going to give him the rematch against Puma.
That seems good. You make that promise.
You have to be careful this time, though.
This time, I will be ready for him. And I think that's a perfect place to cut that scene if that's...
Yes.
Yeah.
Estrella, what is the nature of this big party that all the PCs are going to be at tonight?
So it is a charity fundraiser for some sort of medical benefit, which the easy go-to is cancer. But like it's one of those like charity events where like celebrities from all sorts of different like entertainment fields are all going to be in the same place. It's going to be yes, it's for carpal tunnel actually. And it's one of those. It's a themed event, so it's a masquerade, which is why all of the wrestlers have been invited as well because that's like their thing. And so, yeah.
So, what's the scene we see of you? Well, we haven't gotten to the masquerade yet, but what is the scene after you've run away? Is it preparations? Is it machinations? What's our scene with you?
It's machinations, actually. So we did not mention my schemes, which is my thing as the Doña. So the one that I've chosen for this episode is revenge. Choose someone who has, in your opinion, wronged you. You get them alone and exposed, no matter their holdings or allies. And I think that it is time for Estrella and Maximo to have a little bit of a throwdown about this contract that I now have in my hands.
So, where before this event, where do you catch Maximo?
It is at the City Club, which is like a country club, but in the middle of the city. And I think that it was one of those things where I had gone there to relax in the spa, but I saw you going into one of the massage rooms and wearing nothing but a robe. And so I like take this opportunity to sneak in, and like as you're like laying on the table, I like click the door behind me, and you think it's the massage therapist, but then I'm just like, would you like to explain this? And it's just like my cutting voice, and all of that tension comes right back.
Maximo.
What, Estrella, what are you doing here?
I thought I would come to relieve some tension, but now I feel more like causing it instead. Would you like to explain why you are trying to steal Amor from my management?
Well, this is nothing new. I've been trying to steal her away for some time, but...
Yes, but I didn't expect you to offer such an outrageous sum.
Well, I mean, she deserves the best.
She deserves 3 people's salaries? Who are you firing? Maybe I can pick them up.
3 people's salaries?
Yes, after all, I saw the number on the contract. It's quite generous of you.
Let me see that contract.
Sir, your modesty.
I never offered her this kind of money.
Well, she just tried to leverage even more out of me, and she tried to use your name to do it.
Well, I mean, that's not the first time and not the last time. She seemed so promising.
She seems like a lot of things. What she is a liar.
Well, what you seem like is an angel in this moment. Why are you truly here, Estrella? Did you just want to see my body?
Maximo, control yourself.
Maximo, are you expressing your love passionately?
I am.
And before that goes, I know you have a gasp, definitely. You have a move to do that, but La Donna actually has a potential reaction move to this, right?
Is this was beautiful once or
hard to pin down?
Is it, let's see.
Oh, no, that's more. I'm looking at the wrong one. So I'm sorry if this had been a more that would have worked. I apologize. I looked at the wrong move there. But so let's resolve the passionately. So what is the move that you have for this? Use all the questions for strike out at someone with voice or violence. So have you caught them off guard?
I think so. I think she thought she was catching me off guard, but I've since turned the tables.
Yes.
Have they just wronged you?
No, quite
No?
the opposite.
Okay, here's my favorite one from this set. Are you dressed to impress?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm in nothing but a bathrobe.
Okay. Do they believe that you're single?
I don't. I know that Maximo is one of those men who chases supermodels.
Oh yeah,
So-
chasing supermodels and also the women wrestlers.
And are you taking control of the situation, Maximo?
I think so.
Okay, so the total here is going to be a +3.
Oh, that's a 10.
On a hit, your target gives themselves to you or reveals a secret they shouldn't. On a 10+, they also tell you whether they love you or not and who else they love.
So it's like that, you see that like moment of like tension and resistance, and then suddenly Estrella just melts into you, and like everything goes hazy and rosy, and then like it cuts back, and like now Estrella is wearing the robe and like sitting on the massage thing, and she looks at you and says, "I have never hated you as much in my life. You are nothing like Gabriel."
My dear, I'll take compliments like that all day.
Nice. Let's cut from there. The gasp. Who was the gasp directed towards? Louise.
It was towards Maximo for that. Did you just come here to see my body? Line.
Okay. So la adolescente.
And El Padre laughed at her showing up instead of the masseuse that he was expecting.
Yeah. So I've marked both
That's for
the
Estrella.
XP and the audience reactions for both of you on that. Let's cut to.
Well, this is actually
Oh yeah.
where I would like to reveal that I actually have been there the whole time.
Oh.
Because I have a move called Keys to the Castle. When you reveal you've been secretly listening to a whole conversation, I can roll with some questions. This is my employee move here.
Okay. Do you work here?
No, I don't think I do not work here in the club. No.
Are you dressed to blend in?
Yes, yeah. I am. I think I am wearing a. Yeah, just I've got like a little towel around my waist that kind of goes to just above my knees, and maybe some of and like and I have some of those things like that you put on your nose like to cover your eyes when you're in a tanning booth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this protective plastic.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And are you in over your head?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, you're spying on your two bosses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's have you roll with a +2.
All right. So I'm gonna roll the +2. See what I got here. Uh, 11 on the dice.
So perfect. You get away without being spotted, or ask the conspirators a follow-up question.
10+, or ask the conspirators a follow-up question. Your choice.
Which implies you're not going to get away clean if you ask that question.
No, I'm gonna get away clean.
Okay. So tell us what we see on screen. What they've just had this patch. We fade to black and come back, and they're in different attires. We probably did a commercial break. We've come back from that, and the camera pans. So what do we see?
We see me. I think we see me in the room next door, like in a like I think in a tanning bed, and I am just like with my like jaw slack. I am looking up at the vent in the ceiling where I can hear the conversation coming in from the neighboring room. And I hear everything. And yeah, and I just wait there like until I hear that they've left. And then it's a thing where like I kind of just like, just sort of poke my head out the door and I see them, they probably, leave separately to try and be all casual and stuff. But yeah, and like once they're gone, then I actually, then I head out.
And we cut there. Amor, you've made a serious play here, and you've discovered this billiard ball, this murder weapon. So you're going to be at this big party tonight, this big charity thing for the Scourge of Wrestling, Carpal Tunnel. And so, what is it that we see there?
Okay. I'm thinking I want to come forward with I feel like they're kind of like my conscience because they're a nice person that I trust. So that's as far as I can get. And I want to know if this is too much. Like if I really want to go that far in bringing up the whole police drama. Like I think we're picking clothes at my house for the party. Like I'm lending them some of my wardrobe and I'm going to bring it up. If that's okay with you.
And who's it you said you want to have on scene?
With Carmesí.
Okay. I assume Carmesí has shown up probably a little shaken over there. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah, I look white as a sheet, and not just because I forgot to turn the tanning bed on.
What kind of outfits are you choosing between them, or what do we see?
Oh, Lo, you know you don't ask me wardrobe questions.
I love wardrobe questions, and I know you love them.
I think I'm either going with it's for carpal tunnel, right? So I'm either going with something that has fingerless gloves that emulate the gloves that you have to wear to keep your hand from hurting. That go all the way to my arm, and then it's just like a flowy, non-silhouetted dress, just like a tent sort of situation going on.
Black, red, what's your color?
Oh, it's always red. It's always a shade of
always red. All right.
Black only for funerals. And
what's the other choice that you have spread out there that we see?
All right. I think the other choice is gonna be kind of like a pantsuit thing. It's very elegant and it's a bit Celine Dion red carpet, but it's not backwards. It's just in front of her, in front of them, and it shows a bit of cleavage. And they have a little heart that's going to be painted on the chest as part of the look.
Nice. So you're there. You're choosing between the two. What are you saying to Carmesí?
Yeah, I just don't know. This one is super comfortable, but this is a statement. Like these legs need showing. What do you think?
What?
Sorry,
what? Oh,
hello.
Whichever one you like is fine.
Oh, come on, you love picking clothes with me. What's up?
I was witness to something. I don't know what to do.
Whoa, was it serious?
Yes. It affects all of us. And I've always been able to, you've always been good to me. And I feel like, I don't know, this is so enormous. I don't know if I can trust even you with it.
You know, I actually have something I wanted to show you as well. And I pull out the bloody cue ball, and it's wrapped in a red silk handkerchief. You know what this is.
And I
if we're gonna
like
secret.
stagger back, and I like grasp at like a like something hanging off a hanger that comes down off of it, and I say, you killed him.
What? No, I didn't. I took this from Estrella's office. That's what I was gonna tell you today.
Why would you have it? Why would you have it if you hadn't done it? There's no. You would have gone straight to the police. Why are you bringing this into me? And I'm accusing him of lying about killing him.
Oof.
Ooh, I have a move for that.
Yes.
Hard to pin down.
So you will interfere. So we do that first. Are you being cruel? I mean, how are you reacting? Don't think you're necessarily being cruel. You're not in public.
No.
But you are the center of attention.
So +1 for me.
So let's have you roll with a +1.
All right. Thank you for your party. 9 on the dice. So it's for me. -2 on that row. And they also reveal their true feelings to me. What I think that looks like is that Amor knows that they're known for talking their way out of a situation. So they just look really hurt at that. Like they put their eyes down and they look up and they're like, give a puppy face to Kamesi and like tap the bed and like, just let me explain, please.
And so, Jim, do you have an audience? You don't. Do you have evidence?
A bloody cue ball.
I'll give you that. Are you in over your head?
Oh my God! Yeah, there's been a murder.
So that's a 2, but with a -2 means you're rolling with a 0 here.
All right. So that's a 10.
What, you guys?
So I rolled a 10. -2 gets me to an 8.
Okay.
But I have this thing from the Abuela where I can spend it to immediately have a moment of triumph and make a roll of 10+. So I'm going to do that here.
Oh, good.
It's +2 -2, so it's a 0. So those 10 stay as a 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you stand at a 10 because there's no minus.
Yeah, so it makes it into a 10+, right?
Yeah. Though I think did you roll a 10?
I rolled a 10 -2
+2.
Oh,
well.
plus another +2. Oh, so
Yeah.
it does end up being.
That's what Louise was saying.
Right, okay.
Yeah, with the straight
Got
10
it.
already.
Got it.
You don't have to spend your valuable resource.
I don't need to spend that. All right, so 10+. Accuse someone of lying. On a 10+, choose 2. They're surprised, scared, or flustered. They must act with desperation before they can act against me. And I am right despite what the audience has already seen.
So how do we know that you're right? What's the flashback that we see on that?
So I was not so as a player, I was not here for those actual events.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to just hand it off to Amor and let them narrate how I'm right.
Amor, you've kind of set this up, and you were going to try and bring Carmisi in on this thing, and then Carmisi accuses you of lying, and you're shocked at the strength of that, and then we see a flashback. Vincente, after he's said those horrible things to you, he's there alone. Cristobal has walked off for just a moment, and what do we see?
I think we see Amor step out from the shadows, and just straight up take the cue ball. Oh, go ahead.
I think what we see is, sorry, now that I think of it, yeah, step out from the shadows. But if this is a thing where like you huck it at him and beam him with it, and that sends him down, but then Christo like comes up to him and says, "Oh my god," and picks up the cue ball that he's been like that you hurled at him. Does that?
But we've actually established that Cristobal comes back after this whole
okay.
thing.
So
but
then
that's
there we
okay.
Go ahead and do.
But I mean, we can change that if you want. That Cristobal
Right.
actually knew that you killed him. Do you think that's another revelation we're getting out of this, Luis? I just want to get the full context of it.
I would love to pull a Murder on the Orient Express spoilers that they all did it in some way.
that you hit and killed him. Then Cristobal came in, and thought that he wasn't dead and struck him with it.
Oh yeah, I think I knocked. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the throwing thing because I think that's great, and that's gonna knock him out. So Cristobal can bang him in the head, and then it's gonna finish the job. So I did play a role in killing him.
I like it.
But yeah, that's what we see. Amor steps out of the shadows, and they go like, "Hey asshole, you dropped this," and she goes. Then they go, "Bah!" It's a very dramatic, like, not realistic ball toss.
Falls into his seat, so it just looks like he's sitting there relaxing, even though we can see the blood coming down the back of his hair. I think that's a shocking enough revelation. We need to go to commercial break. So let's take 5, and then we will come back after the break, and we'll probably go to the party and see how Amor reacts with that knowledge out in the air. I do love that accuse someone of lying move. That is pretty awesome.
It's the best move in the game because of the way that you can retcon the fiction like that is so great.
Yeah. Robert, I was going to ask you, were you at Origins?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I know that dude. like twice, but I did not come and say hi because I was like, I know that dude, but I'm also running around doing things. So,
well, it's okay. I'll be at Gen Con too.
Okay.
So.
And I'm running 5 sessions of Pasiones at Gen Con in the Magpie room. So, and one of masks.
I'm running. I'm doing my double feature thing again and working in the hall during the day, and then running Cartel in the evening. So.
Oh, holy cow!
Well, it'll be a nice, relaxing,
pleasant,
like a feel-good time after all that high stress. You know what you need to relax from high stress commerce with very demanding customers is
running a drug cartel.
Yeah.
I will admit that last year at Gen Con, I never went in the dealer's area. It was the first time.
It is a madhouse.
Yeah.
It is a madhouse in there. Yeah.
So we're going to cut to this grand ball party. Of course, chandeliers, champagne, costumes, some of the wrestlers in wrestling costumes and masquerade style things, a few of the sort of eyes wide shut masks and those kinds of things that are going on, that all kinds of glamour and glitz and music. And Robert, I want to have Maximo call a scene here.
Okay. I think Maximo comes in probably stylishly late. He doesn't want to show up right on time. And I mean, to be honest, Maximo, I don't know if he really cares about the whole carpal tunnel thing anyway. His wrestlers don't suffer from it, so whatever.
Right.
So he shows up stylishly late, probably with one of his younger female wrestlers, just as arm candy.
Absolutely. She's dressed to impress. Is your gang here as well?
I think my gang is here. I think they're all wearing masks. I mean, because obviously, our wrestlers, they don't take off their masks. So even my, my companion has her mask on as well.
And you're meeting and greeting. What is it that you want from this party? Who do you want to talk to? What do you want to do?
I think I definitely want to see Estrella again, but I'm also hoping that Amor shows up so that I can maybe confront them.
Interesting. So, Amor, should we put you in the crosshairs?
Sure.
So, do you arrive by yourself? Do you arrive with Carmisi?
I don't know. I think the audience doesn't know what happened after that scene yet. So I think Amor shows up alone to keep the suspense. And we see them as they're rolling into in the car. Like we see them pull out the cue ball from their pocket and then put it back into the pocket. And they came with the pantsuit because it has pockets.
And so you've come in, and you have your wrestler's mask on. Then with that,
sure, it matches.
Yeah, and Maximo, where do you catch Amor? Where are they when you find them?
I think Amor is probably hanging out on a balcony. Let's make it dramatic.
Of course, there are many balconies with a precipitous drop.
Off the
edge of it, of course.
Yep.
Amor still, we don't know what has happened last, so we can't tell whether they're shaken or not. But how do you announce yourself, Maximo?
I think I walk up with a glass of punch, and just walk up and Amor. So nice to see you out here, getting some fresh air, I suppose. You know, I brought you a glass, nice refreshing glass of punch. Trust me, I got you the right one. You know, the kind you like.
Oh, Maximo, you've come to know me so well.
Yes, I just wish, I wish beyond wish that I could somehow persuade you into coming over to my promotion. But I guess it'll never be. I've heard the rumors that you've re-signed.
Well, those are merely rumors just now. I mean, it's still a negotiation phase, but you know how I am. I'm fickle. I'm always down for a better offer.
You are, but somehow everybody always offers something better than me. And I know I shouldn't trust the dirt sheets, you know, when it comes to contract negotiations, but I've just heard some rumors about how much money they're offering you.
Oh, really? Maybe you've heard a different number than I have, and maybe it's higher, and I can use it in my advantage if you'd be willing to share.
Yeah, actually, I did hear quite a high number. And do I have the contract that Estrella?
Estrella would not have given that out.
Okay. So yeah, I just throw the number out there.
The exact number that you had written in.
Yeah, just the exact number, and it's obviously exorbitant.
Are
Yeah,
you striking out at her with your voice, with your words?
I think I am kind of getting very pointed, especially once I drop the exact number.
Perfect.
Because I think like it even had, you know, a 6 at the end, and she just added they added a 0 in there at some point, and I'm like, well, I always add a 6 at the end, so I know it's my number.
So have you caught them off guard?
I think so. Yeah.
Have they wronged you?
Yeah.
And are you taking control of the situation?
Trying to. Yeah.
Then I think you're rolling with a +3 on a strike out at someone.
So that's a 10. Also, hopefully it's okay. I'm rolling my own dice. Just
sure. Yeah. On a hit, your strike lands, and you each mark a condition. On a 10+, you may also take something from them or avoid marking a condition. So let's start with Amor. What condition do you want to mark?
Could you tell me what zealous means again? I always forget it.
So zealous means passionate, driven, focused in on something.
I'm going to go with raging. Things are falling apart, and I'm just mad. I like having it my way.
Okay. And Maximo, are you going to mark a condition, or are you going to take something from them?
So I'm curious what you guys think about this, because I would like to take a condition, but I don't know what I can take from Amor.
Well, I think you've got two choices. You either take a condition, or she's got the murder weapon in her pocket.
Yeah. They
right.
said they walked in with the murder weapon. Yeah.
So you have a choice. You can.
Oh gosh, yeah. Then I definitely want to take the murder weapon.
Okay.
Because what better way to get it back in, you know, good graces with Estrella?
So what? How does that happen?
I think I'm slowly getting closer and closer to Amor. And I mean, it's hard to hide a cue ball, right? So, you know, maybe like their purse or whatever is carrying this cue ball is just kind of bulging. And as I'm getting closer and talking more pointedly, I just glance down and see the cue ball.
wrench it out of the pocket.
Yeah, just
It's wrapped in a handkerchief.
Yeah.
Red, of course. And what condition are you going to mark, Maximo?
I think I'm going to take raging.
What's your reaction? This is, you know, that they've been looking for the cue ball that murdered Vincente.
I know that, and I also know that I've been after Amor for quite some time, and for them to pull this kind of underhanded, dirty business trick, it's the kind of thing I would do. So of course I can't respect it. But on top of that, like having this murder weapon on them, maybe Amor did kill Vincente.
What do you say to Amor? When you've pulled this out, what is it you say?
Amor, dear, you've gotten in some trouble, haven't you?
That's still to be seen.
Well, I think it's already the case. Here you are at this ball with this ball.
Nice.
That's a laugh from El Padre.
Okay.
Sure. Is this what we've come down to, Maximo? Silly puns about a man's death? Why? You have the weapon in your hands. But it doesn't mean that I did anything. Check the prints. See if you find anything. See if the cops will believe you.
Oh, how convenient that you've got it wrapped in a handkerchief. I'm sure all the prints are still there.
Yes, they are. And they're not mine.
It's quite all right. I'll be sure to turn this in as I see fit. In the meantime, you do still have a real contract that you could sign. Not that fake number that you've been throwing around, leaking to all the dirt sheets.
Is it okay if I throw you off the balcony?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, let's strike out at someone.
All right, let's see how that goes. I think you just see them getting red in the face below the mask, and it's just red all over, and they grab you by the. Are you wearing a suit?
Oh yeah, a suit. I mean, yeah, you definitely have, grip.
You think you can blackmail me? You think you can pressure me into accepting the beautiful amount you think I'm worth? I will do anything to get ahead. I will burn any bridges. I will break any laws. You can't intimidate me, you pathetic little man. And they try to throw you off the ledge.
So, Maximo, is this kind of catch you off guard?
I think so. I think I've always known Amor as a brilliant performer in the ring, but never questioned that they might be violent outside of the ring.
Okay. So that's a +1. Has Maximo just wronged you?
Kinda.
No, say that. Are you the center of attention?
I mean,
I actually think the cue ball is the center of attention. So I'm going to give you a +2 with this.
Right.
So let's have you strike out with someone with a +2.
+3 because I'm angry.
Oh,
I have
that's
raging,
right.
so I have +1. All right, 8 on the dice. So you know what that means.
Okay. So the strike lands, and you each mark a condition. Now you may opt Amor to not mark a condition, or you can take something from them.
I'm gonna take some from them. I'm gonna take the cue ball. It's back, baby.
So what do we see happen there?
Well, Amor is a wrestler. They know how to throw a person, and they just do it. They just like throw a leg in the middle of Maximo's legs and pull their ankle with their foot, and then just like do a judo toss over the balcony and snatch the cue ball. It's very high action. They hire stunt doubles for this.
Yeah.
They have wires.
So we don't know what's happened to Maxima. We'll come back to that. But you've snatched the cue ball. Maxima, what are you going to mark for your condition?
I think I'm gonna mark, I guess, dogged.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So mark that. We'll come back to you as we see Amor grabs that cue ball. Let's have Estrella call a scene. Estrella, the party is beautiful. Your, gosh, is he a stepson or just a rival? But Sebastian is circulating, and Ava. What happened to break up that temporary truce you had with Ava?
Oh, I think it was because she was actually Gabriel's girlfriend.
And that there was sort of a secret girlfriend, and you broke that up. So she is bitter. And so what's the scene we want to see with you?
Well, it's me arriving at the party, and if you'd be so kind as to look at the amazing gown that I just linked in the chat, I will describe it for our viewers. It is like this very
that's gorgeous,
very deep cut V-shaped dress with a mermaid silhouette, and it's all white, and it has these gigantic like ribbonous shoulders that come up off of it, and it's just deckled with like silver speckles, and then she's wearing a diamond mask. Oh, look, yep, there it is. And so that's how Estrella walks in, just blows everyone out of the water.
Gasps everywhere.
Yeah. And then as she kind of like, glides in, she looks around and she sees Amor out on the balcony. And this was after, like just after it had happened. So of course she doesn't see that Maxima was just on the balcony, but she just heads right over and says, Amor, mi amor, I think we need to talk.
I'm not in the mood, Estrella.
Oh, I don't really care. You see, I have something to talk to you about. I've been talking with our lawyers, and we've revisited the terms of your contract. And this is where we flash back to preparations.
Excellent. So go ahead and did you have plenty of time to do it?
I did not. I had to rush it through this afternoon. But I did have someone on the lookout for trouble, and I actually have the family lawyer who has been deeply embroiled in all of this, whose name is Patricio, and he has always had my back, and so he's the one who's been watching out for me.
And are you keeping your hands clean?
It's by order of our lawyers, so I think I am.
So go ahead and roll with a +2.
Oh my god, and I still failed. It's the first. I've got wait, no, it's a 5, 6, 7. Okay,
7.
no.
Oh, I was so excited for a moment. So you have to mark a condition.
So the condition that I mark,
or you can hand me and I can have something pop up.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna hand it over to you. Yeah. Let's see how that goes.
Okay. So we will see in the background of this, we can see a figure with a mask. And while it's not Blood Puma's mask, we know that it's the Blood Puma from his motion and all that. And we see that he's got the sort of waiter's thing, and the shot hovers over, and we can see that he has a gun underneath a towel there. And he's definitely, his eyes are on Estrella, and they are filled with anger. So that's my foreboding moment there.
I think Estrella is completely unaware of this.
Absolutely.
But she pulls out another contract, and it says, she pulls out like a stack of paperwork, and it's like, you see, mi amor, you're in breach of contract. And then like points out like a clause of it's like a morality. No, it's an anti-competition clause that was definitely not there before, but that I can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt was totally there.
Does this seem like demand what you deserve? Do we want to go to a move on that?
I think so.
Okay.
I have not rolled it all so far except this
All
one.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you offering something of value in return?
No. I'm about to take it away.
Do they love you in this moment? No. All right, but you are still keeping your hands clean.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see how it goes. Wow. So that's a 5.
And I think even as she's saying that, you will hear the crashing, and we see the figure of the Blood Puma comes over and grabs Estrella by the neck and puts the gun to her head and says, you've destroyed this promotion. Vincente was a good man, but you're a monster, and is pulling you back, and people are screaming.
And at that point, I like look around, and like my entire demeanor changes. Like, Amor, help me!
And I think Amor like takes a step back, and then smiles, and then they open the suit just a little, like the blazer just a little, so you can see that there's a handle of a gun pointing out. But then they look at the contract before they do anything.
I want to see what El Carmisi makes of this, because El Carmisi's obviously on the scene.
I am on the scene. Grabs her, and he's got the gun to her head, and like I emerge from the crowd, from where I was milling around with like all the kind of down with the just like with the hoi polloi, and I raise my voice and I point a finger at him and I said, "Ha! See, you prove that you are a coward, holding a gun to a defenseless woman's head. I call you out. We will settle this once and for all, like wrestlers."
Interesting. Let's have you act with desperation.
Yeah, that sounds good. The situation I want to avoid is him shooting Estrella. So am I doing this for love? Yes, I am.
Nice.
Am I doing this for vengeance? Yes, I am.
Yes, you are as well.
Am I in over my head? Probably.
Yes.
Probably I am. Yeah. So all right. So I'm gonna roll with +3 here. 8 + 3 gets me to 11.
So he turns, sees you, throws Estrella to the floor, and rushes at you.
And Titans clash, man.
Gun forgotten in this, and so we see the lockup. Describe to me the fighting montage that we see. What gets knocked over? What gets broken in the middle of this?
There is absolutely one of those things, like as the fight breaks out, that is when the maitre d' is just tipping the giant champagne bottle into the tower of glasses that they have, so it runs down like a fountain, and we both just go right into that and just shatter glass and bubbly everywhere and stuff like this and everything. And yeah, and the news cameras that are there to film the event immediately turn to us. And I think, there's absolutely got to be announcers from the promotions in the crowd who run up and start just talking to each other. Yeah, and it's being filmed and stuff, and we're just like, and grabbing chairs and wailing on each other with them and stuff like that. It is like this is a no holds barred, whatever we can bring to hand match.
And so this is going on. We see this craziness. Estrella's on the ground, and Moore's still watching. She still has the gun. But let me ask this, Maximo, where are you?
I think I've fallen, like, obviously. A very not too far. Like, I think I fell into the bushes.
Okay, yeah, like the camera had made it look like it was a 100-foot drop before, but then we cut and we see you fall into the bushes that are maybe 15, 20 feet down.
Yeah, I think the camera cuts and it just shows like different angles of me falling, and then I just land in some bushes, and it's a second-story balcony and whatever. There's some bushes below it. So I think I dust myself off, and I just go right back in.
And you will come in and see this. You see Estrella's on the floor. You see Amor looking, I assume, like Amor. They have a look, maybe a little bit of triumph. And there's this fight going on between El Carmisi and the Blood Puma.
And we lock up, and I'm like, for too long, I have been the doormat. For too long, I have been the punching bag. I shall prove that I am a wrestler just like all the others. And, so I am processing my feelings out loud as I am wrestling him, and like we're, pummeling each other and everything and stuff like that. I'm just hollering it out, all of my frustration and rage at having been a punching bag. Yeah.
That seems perfect. Let me figure out what let's get Maximo, get his move, and then we'll come back to you on that and then see what the other's doing. So Maximo, what would you do? Who would you go to?
I think I immediately go to Estrella to try to comfort her and make sure she's safe before anything else.
Estrella, what is your reaction when you get thrown to the ground like that?
It's better than getting shot. But I think it's that thing where it's like it's like I fainted for just a second, and when I come to and Maximo's there and he helps me up, I'm like so grateful, but then I look over my shoulder at Amor and I just glare at glare at them.
So Maximo's gotten you up. You're up. Now let me ask you, you three who are not El Carmisi, as audience members, Daryl, are you rooting for El Carmisi in this moment?
Hell yeah.
Louise, are you rooting for El Carmisi?
Absolutely.
And Robert?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And if there's anything I can do to help, I would absolutely do so. I promised them a push.
So let's have you roll to process your feelings out loud in the middle of this fight. Like we see the lockups, we hear you talking, and Puma is cursing you even as you do this, and he's saying you need nothing. You're just a jobber. You'll never amount to anything.
7 on the dice, +3.
So on a hit, choose one.
Yeah, the audience reveals a crucial event going on outside of view while all of this mayhem is happening.
Ooh. Somebody want to set up an event related to all of this outside of view?
I have an idea, which is that maybe the fingerprint scans come back. And obviously they come back in like a manila envelope, like the fingerprint scans on the cue ball. and they come back in a manila envelope to be revealed at some point very dramatically.
So we see them somehow they have gotten to a detective? Have they gotten to someone that was hired by someone? Who has them?
I think, yeah, there's definitely a detective.
It's got to be the hacker.
Oh yeah, the hacker got them. That
Yeah.
definitely makes sense.
But so Bruno has scanned the billiard ball. He's gotten the fingerprints, and we see him pull that out, and we see him go before we cut back away from that in shock. So that seems perfect. Tell me what your finisher is, Carmisi.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's definitely going to be a body slam into like a backbreaker on a table that that like breaks the table in half. And then I just like elbow drop on him to like pin him with my elbow, and the entire crowd, 1, 2, 3, like the whole room is just like clapping the 3 count, and then I'm just
and the crowd that at first was like, oh my God, this person pulled a gun on Estrella. But they've forgotten all about that. They think that this is a great big stunt at this point, a big showcase here. And
I also reach down and I just pull the Puma's mask off and I pull it over my own.
Oh my God! Amor, you see El Carmisi, who you're one of their suitors. You see them do that, unmask a veteran in front of everyone. What's your reaction, Amor?
Okay, so I'm feeling I have 3 conditions checked, which is amazing. I'm obsessed, lustful, and raging.
Yes.
I think I feel horny. I think I'm more just gonna like stroll right up to the middle of the room and fall down on one knee and grab. Are they still going with Carmisi, or have they changed their name to Puma now?
I'm still Carmisi.
Okay, and they go, and they're like using the attention of the people that think this is a show, so that Carmisi can confront them about the ball in front of everyone, and they just go, "You are a star in and out of the ring. You make my heart burn with the intensity of 1,000 wrestlers. The thing you just did, how you ripped that pathetic man's face. I must have you for me, Carmisi. I can't have you be not a part of my life anymore. Will you marry me?"
And that's what you imagine happening, but you first have to act with desperation to be able to say that to them because of that previous scene.
Oh yeah. Oh my.
So luckily you don't have any penalties on that because you didn't mark zealous. So here's a question. You want to not run away, right? You want to be able to go and say this, right?
I want to say this eloquently, because if I fumble these words, it's just going to be pathetic.
Are you doing this for love?
Not really.
Okay. Are you doing this for vengeance?
Not really either.
Are you the center of attention?
No, I'm not.
Roll with a +0.
Oh, it's an 8.
Okay. So I think you're going to be able to express your love passionately, but Estrella is going to get a chance to act before you can, and we'll see what she does. Does that seem fair? Estrella, you watch and you can tell what Amor is about to do.
I use my other scheme, which is protection. Choose a character or thing you protect. It is safe from death and serious harm as long as it's under your protection. And in my opinion, anything to do with Amor right now would be serious harm.
So how does what do you think that looks like here?
I think that since everybody seems to have forgotten the part where I was taken hostage, I still have a lot of clout. And so I start barking orders at everyone, and I get them to kind of like scoop Carmacy up and like take them to a backstage room. And I have like police, I ordered like the security guards to, to restrain Puma, and I make sure that I even take Maximo with me, and I just leave Amor where they are at.
Does that seem fair? We see you going through the crowd like you're going to say something, but then the crowd pushes you back. Carmisi security comes over and like a hero, they kind of move you, as a star of the show. They want to move you like they would like the high point. They you're the star. They're going to take care of you, and they move you out back. You never even see Amor coming towards you. And they will move you away for your protection, even as reporters and things are coming over to find out what's going on. And you'll be moved to that back area. Amor, the crowd parts. Carmisi is gone, and you're one of a handful of people left here in this ballroom.
I wipe a single tear that didn't smudge my makeup because I wear expensive stuff. I look and see that Sebastian is one of the people who are still here. I grab the cue ball and I walk up to him.
Ooh, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Maximo, Estrella has pulled you along after barking all these orders. You're still a little shaken from the fall, maybe. What happens? What do you say when you have a moment to speak to Estrella?
I think I just allow myself to be taken along, and then, as soon as I get a moment, just like, see, I knew they were going to come for you. I could have prevented this, If you're with me, I can prevent this in the future.
Oh, Maximo, while I do appreciate a knight in shining armor, I think that there's more enemies than we may be aware of. I think that, Maximo, I think that we should be afraid of Amor.
Do you really think that they're capable?
And then just like there's a flashback to when she threw you off a roof. But also, and then I just like, but I don't know that. But I just look up at you and like I have these like tears in my eyes, these very carefully practiced tears, and I say, Maximo, I think they're a danger not just to Montenegro, but to Valentine as well.
Perhaps it's for the better if we combine forces. Think of the angles we could pull. Invasion, both ways. We could do better business than we've ever done.
Maximo, I think this might be the beginning of a beautiful partnership.
I prefer to call it a relationship.
Well, and then I laugh at that and I lean in and I kiss you, which is expressing my love passionately.
All right. So you are definitely dressed to impress.
Mm-hmm. I do think they're single because they have already confessed their attraction to me.
And are you keeping your hands clean?
I don't think so this time.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah. So let's have you roll with a +2.
That is a 9.
That is a 9. On a hit, your target gives themselves to you or reveals a secret they probably shouldn't. Maximo, do you give yourself to her?
Yes, I think I do.
And so we will fade to black as that embrace. Carmisi. There are other wrestlers there, wrestlers that treated you with disdain. Capitan X is there, and he slaps you on the back and he says, "That was some wrestling. That was some wrestling." I don't think anybody realizes how real that was.
And I kind of like spread my arms to indicate all of them. And I say, you were all my teachers. The time that I spent was well spent.
You no longer Felpudo. What we call you now?
I think as a player, I'm gonna need a minute to think about that.
Sure, absolutely.
What are they gonna call me? They're gonna call me the Hunter.
The Hunter.
The Crimson Hunter. So
Is that Cazadora? Sorry, my Spanish is very bad. Louise, how's you?
Perfect. Yeah.
There we go. El Cazador Carmisi.
And
I hunted down the puma.
And they will with the security, they will take you out, and they will get you out of there, and they go to fet you with drinks and a party afterwards. So what is that montage like?
I think it's I think I'm kind of like, we just see me just kind of gobsmacked by the whole thing. Like, people are like handing me, like, literally, like, we see hands coming in from both sides, with like a cerveza in one hand and a bottle of tequila in the other. And they're just like, my head is back, they're pouring it down, all this kind of stuff and everything. And like, it rapidly becomes just like this, like, my vision is just like whirling and spinning around, like I'm being, tossed around in the ring and stuff like this and everything. And I think I'm just gonna like eventually I'm just gonna just black out.
The music gets louder and louder until that
and things are just spinning and whirling, and like those wrestlers who who used to be so threatening, to me, but are now my friends. Like, their faces are looming large and like laughing, like that. So yeah.
Perfect. I think we cut from that to a quiet moment. We see Sebastian shutting these pocket doors to give some privacy, like in a study of this household. And Sebastian says, "So you wanted to talk to me more?"
Yes. Look, I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. And they just pull out the handkerchief and just let the cue ball roll on the table. I found this in Estrella's desk.
And he looks at it like he takes his own handkerchief out and he stops it before it can go any further. And he says, "So she did kill my father."
Yes. And you know why I didn't turn this into the police? She has them on her pocket. She's bought everyone. She'll never pay for her crime. If we rely on the law, she must be taken down by a hero.
So Detective Velasquez Is her lackey?
All of them. The police department is dirty, up and down.
What about Gabriel? Why did he go on the run?
She framed him, and they just bought it, just like that. She says, this guy's guilty. They chased him out of town. The man I loved, the man she took from me, is on the run like a dog, so she could cover her dirty crimes and get her money.
Are we misleading, distracting, and tricking, Sebastian?
Oh, yeah.
So is there pressure for them to act the right way? Yeah, they have to honor their father's legacy. I don't think they think that you've been honest with them before. I think you have a history of being terrible, but you are the center of attention. So
And I'm going to use my card. I'm sorry.
Oh, which does?
I get to introduce an over-the-top prop, and I get a +1 when I use it on a roll.
What is the prop?
I'm going to introduce, I think that gun that I had before is actually a taser, a very high-fashion taser. And I say, you shoot this into her heart. She's not young enough to take it. She's going to die, and it's going to be clean.
It will look like an accident, like a heart attack?
It will. Nobody has to go to jail for this.
Roll with a +3.
All right, that brings me up to 10.
So they are fooled. On a 10+, you can get both benefits: learn a secret or create an opportunity, or you can essentially fool them for some time.
Can create an opportunity be that I plant this idea in his head?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. And that's what it's.
Okay, so Sebastian takes his taser. Does it do what you say it does? Or do we not know?
I bought it for the aesthetics, and I don't know how reliable it is.
Okay. And he takes the billiard ball and wraps it up, and he says, all right, I will have to think on this. Tell no one.
You have my word. But you act quickly. He's moving fast. Soon there will be nothing to rescue anymore.
She and Vincente left together.
They did.
Perhaps she seeks a merger, push my sister and I out.
If she gets Maximo on the deal, there will be no wiggle room anymore.
Maximo is a dangerous figure as well. We'll have to figure out how to deal with him.
Wow. You know what they say about powerful men? They're only as strong as the people they control.
Puts the gun in his jacket pocket. We never spoke.
We weren't even at the same party.
He heads out. Let's cut to later. Estrella, are you still with Maximo, or what scene do you want to call later on? The contract thing certainly wasn't settled. There's a good deal of good positive publicity from your new star wrestler's big publicity stunt. What do you think?
I think that it's probably the next morning, and if it's okay with El Cazador, I would like to frame up like a scene where you wake up hungover in your hotel room, and I'm just there sitting on the edge of the bed.
Oh yeah, Your mouth tastes like socks.
I don't think I made it to a hotel room. I think this has got to be like in a unless you do I wake up in a hotel room that you had me brought to?
Oh, we put you there for sure.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And it's one of those like suites, like the really nice, like
Yes,
multi-room suite, like
Yeah.
bay windows open with a breeze coming off the pool kind of thing.
Um. Uh. And like I do one of those like wake up with a start into like like a fighting pose. Uh, uh, uh.
I just smile and you see me there like filing my nails or something. And it's like, it's about time you woke up, Mr. Hero.
Oh, Estrella. Oh, forgive me. Uh, they, I think they did something to me. I think they put something in what I was drinking.
No, they just put a lot of drinking in you.
It is. Why is it so loud and bright?
Because it's morning and because there are people outside and they all want to talk to you. And I'm here to stave them off for now, but I do also want to talk to you. You see, it's very important that we talk about your future here at Montenegro. Now, I know that you came here and that you've been trying to succeed and climb your way up slowly but surely, and those efforts have not gone unnoticed. I would like to offer you the position of new star.
You've always been kind to me. I fear, though, this would it would enrage Maximo. He would surely there would be reprisals against you. I cannot be responsible for that. I couldn't live with myself if anything were to happen to you. You've been so you've been like a shining star, like a beacon to me ever since we first met. And I'm expressing my love passionately here.
Okay. And
actually,
are you
Oh yeah,
also moving your
Yep.
lover?
I am. I'm going to when I share my intimacy. When I share my intimacy or feelings, I mark them as my love and remove the mark from the previous love. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do.
So you're definitely in over your head.
Oh yeah.
You are not dressed to impress.
No.
Estrella, do you believe that the hunter is single?
I do.
So that is a +2 plus the +1 ongoing. So +3 on the night of no fails.
6 + 3 gets me to 9.
Okay. So on a 9, the target gives themselves to you or reveals a secret they probably shouldn't.
I see how earnest you are, and I just can't help myself. I kind of laugh out loud and I say, oh, you don't need to worry about Maximo. I have him wrapped around my little finger. Soon enough, you'll be fighting against his wrestlers. You see, I shouldn't tell you this, but a partnership is coming our way.
I will carry your name into the ring with pride, and I will do your faith in me justice.
I truly appreciate that, Cazador. Although I do have a few questions. Have you noticed anything strange about Amor lately?
And I kind of look at her desperately, like I kind of like I process that for a moment, and then I go like this, throw my hand in front of my face, and like rush into the bathroom. And this is my trying to mislead, distract, or trick her.
That seems perfect.
That I am too ill to answer this question. So.
Is there pressure for Estrella to go along with this? No. Do they think you've been honest with them? Do you believe that the hunter's been honest with you?
Well, after that startling confession, of course I do.
Okay. And definitely in over your head with all.
Oh my God, yeah.
So let's have you roll with +2.
That's a 3. That's a 4 + 2, which only gets me to a 6. So now I'm going to cash in my card.
Okay.
So this is my Abuela card. I can spend this to immediately have a moment of triumph and make a roll a 10+ after the roll. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now.
So Estrella, what is it about the little green at the gills, not even 20-year-old wrestler that's going to throw up? What about that distracts you?
And I want to choose the "you confuse them for some time" option. I'm not going to learn anything from her on this.
I mean, I do have a cell phone, but I think that I believe it just because, honestly, such a young and innocent boy probably hasn't had a drink in his life. And after how much tequila I saw them putting in him last night, I believe that he cannot hold they cannot hold their liquor.
That seems excellent. I'm going to cut away from the sound of retching in the very upscale bathroom. It's probably the moment where you go, "Oh, bidet," and then I'm going to cut to Maximo. Maximo, when the camera comes back to you, where do we see you?
I think I'm talking to like my head creative staff, and I'm just telling them about all the possible opportunities coming our way. If we can just merge with our biggest rival.
Mr. Valentin?
Yeah, I'm open to all ideas right now. Like, so much going on.
This is all great. What you've been telling us is a really, really solid opportunity. I don't want to speak out of line.
Come on, spit it out, kid. You've been here for a while.
Miss Montenegro doesn't have a great reputation in the industry. I mean, she's pushed both the kids out from on top. She kind of took over the company. She's been ruthless. I mean,
well, look, kid, you got to get an in before you get an out, right? You know how it works.
Not in this case. Are you sure that this is going to go through? What you're talking about is going to require us to reset the whole schedule for the promotions. This is a big commitment.
Look, we have an insurance policy, okay?
We
Blood
do?
Puma?
Uh-huh.
We're going to send him over there and beat the crap out of everybody that they have. They're going to look so weak. We're going to take over.
But Puma got beaten by that jobber.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a sanctioned match?
No, Mr. Valentin, it was not a sanctioned match.
Correct. Let's see what happens within the squared circle. Let's see what happens when we actually abide by the rules in a sanctioned match. We saw what happened last time.
All right. So we should scrap the next few weeks worth of work and start from scratch?
That wasn't much work anyway. Yeah, just start over and just.
We could go to the board where there's hundreds of post-it notes and lines drawn between things. And all right, if you say so, Mr. Valentin.
Look, it's all about Puma. He's gonna go over. Don't tell anybody.
Okay. And you head out, and your assistants are there. And Diego says, Montenegro went to visit the doormat this morning.
Yeah, I mean, that's typical. I mean, we need to send a message.
What kind of message, boss? Because I got lots of ways to communicate my feelings.
I know you do, and you love that so much, and I appreciate that.
Caring, expressive.
Yeah, that's why you're here. That's why you're part of my team.
Yeah.
Look, what I need from you is just go and, destroy something they love. Make them realize it's not so safe anymore.
Like what, boss?
Well,
she's got a daughter.
She does have a daughter. I mean, you could go mess with her daughter.
Okay, boss.
Just make sure it doesn't come back to me, right?
Oh, no, that's absolutely, boss. We can do that.
Okay. I trust you. Diego, yeah. I mean, you're my lieutenant.
We got this. You have no worries, boss.
Diego, has anybody that you ever met before been called lieutenant before you?
No, you were the first time they've called me.
I call you that for a reason.
I'll do this right, boss.
Good.
I promise you. And they head out. We'll come back to resolving that role in a bit then. Yes. Amor. You've put the gun in Sebastian's pocket. The papers are filled with stories about everyone but you. This new wrestler, El Cazador Camisi, who you didn't get a chance to talk to, and certainly when they left your apartment yesterday seemed a little out of sorts because you'd thrown them a murder weapon. So what do you want to do?
I'm feeling a little adrift, so I'm going to process my feelings for the scene.
And tell us what do we see on screen?
I think it's Amor's room on the following day, and it's dark, and their room is like a physical representation of their mind. It's just a wall that's plastered floor to ceiling with pictures of them, with posters, with newspaper cuttings. Like they print out Instagram reviews that wrestler pages make of them. And it's just like they're wrapped in this gorgeous red silk robe that has little broken hearts all over it. And they're just walking around drinking a glass of red wine. Because I am so close to a meltdown, so I want to really lean into that.
Okay.
I actually want vision to happen to me at some point. I can get there.
Yes. So, Daryl, are you rooting for Amor? Is the audience rooting for them? Do you think?
This audience member is not, because they are a murderer.
What about you? Jim, are you rooting for them?
Yeah, I kind of am. I in that I want to see just how much they can get away with.
Okay. And what about you, Robert? Are you rooting for them?
No, I want to see them brought in for their crimes.
Okay. So that's just a +1. With your lustful, takes it to a -1.
Awesome. All right, that's a 8. Oh no, it's a 7. All right, okay.
So 7 is your total.
Yeah.
So on a hit, you choose 1.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna go hard on this. The audience will have to tell me how to get Carmesi to forgive me, Caçadora to forgive me.
Oh,
Do I get your monologue about it a little bit?
yeah.
I think they're like drinking the wine and touching the wall that has all their greatest moments plastered on it, and it's just you try, you make plans, you put the work in, you take the pictures, you sign the autographs, and then it boils down to the petty interests of old women, to the ego of villainous men, to being harassed by an asshole and being questioned when you decide to take him out of the world. You lose your love because you did the right thing, because some stupid law says that it is wrong to kill a man who didn't deserve to live. And I think they see a picture that it's the one picture that stands out. It's like a Polaroid of a date they had with Carmesi. And it's like, but the pieces are falling back into place. I trust Sebastian will do the right thing, and I will have you back, my love. I'll have you back in my arms and away from that witch. And then you take a sip of the wine, whatever it takes.
Macy, Jim, what would it take for Amor to bring you back, to get your forgiveness?
To present me with evidence that they did it to protect me.
Interesting. I like that.
That I was under some kind of imminent threat, and that's why they did it.
That is perfect. Let's come to you, Carmesi. Estrella leaves you with that, and you've cleared yourself, and you've got that sort of late stage of the hangover. Where would you go? Who would you go talk to?
Next scene. So I'm going to process my feelings out loud, but it's in a confessional.
Oh.
So, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 6 days since my last confession. In that time, I have, and I start listing off my transgressions and how regretful I am about them. And kind of ends with, someone has confessed something to me, but I don't feel close enough to God that I can sit in judgment of them, and I don't know what to do. And this is my processing, and kind of I'm using the confessional to speak aloud my feelings, and so that the audience can hear what's worrying me.
That seems good. Daryl, are you rooting for Carmesi?
Of course, #1 fan.
And Louise, are you rooting for Carmesi?
I have the t-shirts, I have the buttons, I have a poster.
And Robert?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm waving the sign.
Okay. Then Carmesi, let's have you roll.
So I'm rolling +3 Stan, and let's see what we got here. 6 + 3 gets me to 9.
Okay. What is it that you want there?
I think the audience tells me how I might find love with a partner of their choosing.
Well, who want? Is it Amor? Is it Estrella? Is it someone else?
It should be Bruno.
Yes, 100 times yes.
Yeah, I like Bruno.
And I think it should be like like you should go to Bruno, and Bruno will like confide in you the secret that he discovered from that manila envelope.
Does that seem a good setup?
Hell yes.
So we've got you with the attracted to Bruno. We've got Amor with her plans to win you back. We've got Maximo having sent out his goons to rough up Ava. Estrella, what do we see from you at the end of this episode?
So I would like to reveal a shocking truth. So I think that Estrella is back at the manor house that we saw in like the other episode, and it's in the study, and all the curtains are drawn, and there's a fire raging, and she's just holding like a whiskey glass and staring in the flames, and in her hands is a piece of paper, and the camera like pans down on it, and it's a DNA test, and this is has to be okay with Louise, but it reveals that Vicente was Amor's father.
So mark a condition, Estrella.
So I think that's going to be obsessed.
And then roll with conditions marked.
Yeah, it's going to be preoccupied. So that's +1.
Yep.
So that is an 8.
So you get to choose one.
So I think I'm going to do unequivocal evidence that this is true, and that Amor now has as much claim to the family business as Sebastian and Ava.
And the way we see it is probably a DNA test, but then of course we see a picture of Vicente and a picture of Amor and a match written across, even though that's not how that's done at all. But we get the audience, the visual, and I think that is where this episode is going to stop, with those cliffhangers for next time. Everybody take an XP just for playing.
I leveled,
Yes.
so to speak.
Oh, you leveled?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you get to take another move.
All right.
So thank you all very much. Robert, Jim, wow. You both stepped up to the plate and brought it. That was really good.
I normally GM for Rob, so it was awesome to get to play with him.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Let's do stars and wishes. We've got a few minutes, if you don't mind. So stars, things you want to point to as things you liked from the session or from characters, and wishes, in this case, framing up things you definitely want to see for next time. Let's start with you, Jim. And again, thank you for coming in with 45 minutes before the session begins to jump in and bring this character to the table.
Thanks.
So good.
Yeah,
so
no,
good.
I love this game. I mean, this is, and I gotta say, I'm definitely going to do a Just Played episode on this, because the last time I talked about Pasión and Just Played, I whined about how hard it was to get flashbacks to fire, and that's been fixed, and it's awesome.
Yes.
So I'm super thrilled about that. I've got a like just stars just exploding all over the place. For that dress that Daryl found, like that told us everything we needed to know about that character, and that was just wonderful.
And I didn't share it, but Louise's suit for Amor was also right on point.
Yeah, that's like the black belt Google Fu thing happening there. That was pretty amazing. So just thank you for that.
Anything else you want to mention?
Oh boy, like everybody was great. Like I said, Rob, I have GM'd for Rob a bunch of times, but this was awesome to get a chance to play with him. And uh, uh, his total sociopath turn. I mean, like, it wasn't really a heel turn, but just that, like, oh no, we got this. We're just going to be monsters. I don't think you understand that that's how we win. Is just like just the like, and it was like so matter of fact the way you were kind of like walking him through it until he understood. I love that. That was fantastic. And Louise, always a pleasure to play with you. I've played with you before as well, but that was just the in particular like the way you just totally rolled with my self-indulgent bullshit of freaking out about your cue ball. So I always give stars to everybody for putting up with my self-indulgent bullshit, but in particular, you were right there with me on that, and I really love that. So thank you. And lol, people throw around the term rock star when they talk about you as a GM, but it is, we throw it around because it's so the label actually fits. So I was thrilled. And this was kind of one of those things where I turned to Shannon and said, there's a game I can get into tonight. And she was like, yeah, I'll probably be in bed. And I was like, so, that was awesome. And that's like, when I tell new people who join the Gauntlet, I'm like, watch need players. And, something may pop up half an hour before the game. And that was, I was super psyched that was available. And also extending thanks to you for inviting me to be here next week, even though it may not necessarily, it might put you over in players and stuff like that.
We will figure that out.
Super cool. Yeah, thanks.
Louise, come back. This is your second session with this character. I've got your pronouns right most of the time. I'm a little bit better tonight. So any stars you want to throw out?
I've been fumbling with them as well. I keep tripping on it. I'm sorry for people who use they and them and are watching this in the future. I'll try to do better. I don't know. It was just like I was super tired coming into this. I will be full disclosure here and say that I completely forgot we had a session and I was at a bar until an hour before. But it's a national holiday today. I spent the day out. But it's just like it energized me so much. I had so much fun. Every scene I was just like, I want to be a part of this. When can I get in? Oh my God. I'm only gonna do 1 star because Haley Gordon does that, and I think it's super cool. And I do have to give it to Daryl though. Like Estrella was ace tonight, and it's just like the revelations and the conniving and the manipulations. It was just so good. I'm just so happy.
Yeah, I love using all the tools that we've got at the table for those things. I appreciate seeing that move at the end. That was great. Robert, stars?
Yeah, I also want to give a star to Daryl. I mean, the going back and forth between Estrella and Maximo, I mean, there's a common rivalry there, but then it was so a telenovela of, do we love each other? Do we hate each other? Oh no, we're business partners. Oh no, now we're business rivals. I mean, that was so on point. Like I loved every part of that.
That spa scene was inspired. That was what a great setup. What a great follow through.
And yeah, I don't think I've ever seen any telenovelas. I'm never like a fan of drama or anything. And so I was really worried about this game. Like, oh no, am I going to be able to fit in and work, into this space? And it just, that immediately helped a ton.
Yeah, it was great. Daryl, stars?
So the best way I can express my stars is my face literally hurts from smiling so much. I've literally been smiling for like 3 hours. It hurts. Y'all need to stop because that's how great everybody was. Stars to Robert and Jim for just jumping in and like rolling with our bullshit because we had a pretty kooky setup like right off the bat. I especially appreciated like El Cazador's earnestness and like just like innocence, but like also willingness to just go all in on whatever it was. And then like Maximo like doing that like complete like mafia reveal at the end was just like, I was so shocked. I was the madre like gasping. And like, and then speaking of face heel turns, Louise, the way you took Amor from the kind of the like insufferable it person from last episode, and then just like being like, I'm a murderer now, was just like so great. Like I loved it. And then Lowell, of course, like you just keep doing such a great job of like throwing us together in all of these amazing ways and like carrying the story on with like tons of momentum. It's so great. I've loved every moment of it.
It's been super fun. I love this kind of stuff. It's yeah. Jim, for anything that you want as like off the top of your head, you're like, okay, I definitely want this kind of scene next time. I mean, what is it that you definitely want was for that?
Boy, I definitely want the scene where, like, no kidding, Maximo and Estrella are both there, like pointing at me going, okay, you've got to choose. Like,
Okay.
that is like the thing that I feel like is, well, you know, or maybe all three, but definitely Maximo and Estrella. Like, I feel like that is an inevitable kind of, you know, who do you work for, kid?
That's smart. Yeah, we'll see if we can move things on that. Louise.
Oh, I definitely want to see the scene where I tell Cazadora that I did what I did for them. I'm so much looking forward to that.
Awesome.
And
yeah, that's
one thing
great.
that's not a scene, but I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, please.
One thing that's not a scene, but I'm hoping I get that fourth condition. I want to melt down so bad for the finale. I want to be a fucking monster.
Absolutely. I am glad we got some of those conditions marked too. I like that slow incremental increase. I like the rate of it because they are hard to clear. I like that we've been inching up on that. Robert?
I want to see something happen within a wrestling ring.
Okay.
Like, at some point, I want some drama, and I want something to go down within the wrestling ring. And maybe we even, you know, pull in some Estrella and Maximo are running down to the ring to start, you know, to do certain things in the match. I definitely want to see that.
I like it. A big event. Excellent. Daryl, anything you want to point to?
It's not like necessary, but I would just love that since we started on a funeral, we end on a funeral.
Ooh.
I look very good in black.
Absolutely. I will keep that in mind. That's great. Thank you all very much. I'm going to stop the broadcast, and I cannot wait for the next week. I feel like I want to go and watch the show. Like, it's a show that comes out weekly. I can't binge it, and I want to go watch it, and I got to wait a week. So thank you so much.